Do you have a reactive dog that may be reactive to other dogs in your neighborhood or certain people or bicycles? Well, do you dread going out for that walk? I know many of you do, and I used to when I had a reactive dog and feeling like I had to be very much on alert when I took my dog out. Well, I got a secret to share with you. You don't always have to take him out for a walk every day. Ah, do you feel a sigh of relief? Well, I'll share with you what you can do instead. So, my name is Linda Kwan, and I am the owner and trainer at Wow Bow Wow. I specialize in working with humans with family dogs, whether they be young puppies or maybe even an adolescent dog, the teen dog during their crazy months and years. Or, some people may have just brought home a dog, and so they may need some help with some basic things like potty training or walking on a leash. Or you may have a dog, and I've had this happen, a dog for a couple of years, maybe even 5 years, and something has changed and they have a new behavior that they may want to change. So, back to the topic. If you have an overly reactive dog that may lunge and bark, at whatever triggers they may be stimulated by, well, I'm here to share a couple of tips on what else you can do instead of a walk. Because I want to explain that many of us have this belief that we have to take our dogs for a walk. Our neighbors do it. You see people posting about their wonderful hikes with their dogs. But and I know, your dog's not really enjoying the walk, and neither are you. But until you work with your dog and get them at least a little less reactive on your walks, it's okay not to go for such walks. So let's break down what a walk is for your dog and maybe for you too. So in city life, and that's where walks came about, walking your dog, because you don't normally see this out, when you live in somewhere where there's a lot of open areas, but so city life, people with dogs in city life. So physical exercise is one of the primary reasons most people tell me they take their dog for a walk. But let me share with you a couple alternatives for that. Second reason, mental stimuli. They love smelling. And so you want to take them to new areas to, get the groove on. Third is they may like to scavenge. Scavenge. Is that the word? Scavenging? They may enjoy scavenging. And so, you may want to take them out for sniffing and searching for things. A fourth reason, and this is another big reason, is, you want to bond with your dog. Have some time with your dog instead of being, on the phone all the time, right? Or exposure, especially when you just brought home a dog. People talk about socializing your dog and things like that. But for reactive dogs, the stimuli is too much for them. So you may want to take it back and do small incremental steps in exposing them to our new world, right? New world to them, at least. And then potty breaks. If you live even in a house, sometimes you may want to take them elsewhere for these potty breaks. And if you live in an apartment complex, unless you make arrangements for a potty area in a certain room or in the balcony or someplace in the complex, you have to take them out, right? So so those are the main reasons most people take their dogs for a walk in the city. Now, what are some alternatives? For exercise, consider a couple of these options. You may want to take him to uh, what you can find in the city, a remote place, less activity, less dogs if they're really reactive dogs. How about a parking lot of a business, that an office building that may be closing down, after a certain hour? Less cars and most likely, no dogs really. Now, how about um, a yard? Maybe you have a friend who has a yard if you don't have a yard for your dog to walk, run around in. Um, Maybe you can like toss toys for them, or maybe they can learn to play, frisbee with you. So think about other alternative types of exercise that you can give them. Another one is swimming. Over here, I live in Costa Mesa. There's a facility called the Animal Wellness Center, and they have a swimming pool where they can even teach your dog to swim if your dog is not comfortable in the water. So think about these different kinds of exercises, physical exercises you can provide your dog instead of taking them out for a walk every day. Now, what about mental stimuli? I mentioned, sniffaries, like smelling things, is a really, really high motivation for them. Well, you can do it in the home, right? You can you can provide them things to find in the house. You can give them a snuffle mat. There's several alternatives. And later on, I'm going to share a game that you can play with them. Now, in regards to mental stimuli, think about training. Training is also very stimulating for them, and it will tire them out. So you think, oh, I don't have anything to teach them. He knows how to sit. Well, what about a trick or two? Something new for both of you to learn and teach. Now, scavenging, like I mentioned, using their nose, right, is a big deal for dogs. And that's like a natural behavior for most dogs, searching for food, or it could be their toy, whatever floats their boat. And so this is the game I wanted to share with you, a find it game. So have you ever dropped something in the kitchen and they are like, oh my gosh, there's something over there. Let's go check it out. And they may grab it before you do. So how about taking a couple of their kibbles, if you use kibbles, or other kinds of treats, and hiding it in different locations in a room and let them go find it? Can you imagine how much fun that is for them? I guarantee it. It will be very fun for them. So the fourth reason you may, be taking them out for a walk is connection. You want to take some time with your dog, bond with your dog, instead of, staring at your phone and things like that, right? So let's use, the time that you're playing these physical activities, these mental stimuli, activities and scavenging, that's the time to bond with them, teaching them a new trick, right? And I know a lot of you have heard this word about exposure or social, exposing them to different things in our world, right? Socializing them is the other term people use. So for your reactive dog, flooding them with too many things may be the reason they're so reactive. So let's take a step back. Maybe on some of your walks, exposing them to things slowly from far distance, letting them watch dogs if they're reactive to them. So, like I mentioned earlier, going to a remote place or a place that you have much more space to be able to watch the things that may be triggers to them. So exposing them at a slower pace may be a better route for you and your pup. And the next thing that a lot of people take their dogs out for a walk is potty training, right? And the potty breaks that you need to, take them maybe on your walks, or, maybe it could be like a place in your home, maybe a place that they don't feel so worried about. So worried about their environment. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought here. Worried about their environment. So maybe a place in their backyard or somewhere near your front yard if you have a house. And if you don't have either, maybe in a remote kind of area off the beaten track in your apartment complex. Hang around in that area. You don't have to be walking around. Just hang around in that area and ask them to go potty. So instead of walking, and waiting for them to go sniff and you realize, oh, they may want to go pee or take a poop. So go to a more remote area in your apartment complex and just hang around there. Don't have to be walking a lot, and then take them back inside. So those are the better alternatives that you can do instead of walking them every day. And you know what? Your dog will thank you for that, and you will feel so much better. So what about it? So how about it? How about, taking a step to work on your dog's reactivity? So in the future, you can take them out more frequently and enjoy those lovely walks with them in your neighborhood. Let's not be stuck in this mode with your dog. So choose, instead of dealing with a dog that's reactive to several different kinds of stimuli on your walks, contact me to see what may be your next step to help your dog be more comfortable in our world. All right. Thank you for joining me for my Training Tip Tuesday, and I will see you next Tuesday.